200 South Street, Morristown, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the town of Morristown, and to the Newark Star Ledger, both more than 48 hours ago. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall and filed with the office of the town clerk of the town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. Roll call. Councilman Armington?
Here.
Councilwoman Davis?
Here.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Here.
Councilman Elms?
Present.
Councilman Iannacone?
Here.
Councilman Silva?
Present.
Council President Foster?
Here.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call for a moment of silence, please.
I'd like to remember the resident who was struck on Friday and who passed away at 29 Ann Street, and her family, and keep them in our prayers.
At this time, I'd like to ask you all to stand for the rise of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we don't have any items on the list for consent agenda, so this time I'd like to open up the public hearing. If there are any members of the public wishing to be heard, please come before us, state your name, address, and keep your comments to under 5 minutes. Thank you. Linda.
Good evening. My name is Linda Carrington. I live at 49 McCullough Avenue. I'm here with two items. They're brief. One is a public safety issue, and I'll start by saying every child can recognize a sidewalk when he sees one, especially when it's shoveled. And the reason I start out that way is because in our neighborhood there's going to be a tear down of a house, which is on a corner. And it has a sidewalk on one street. It doesn't have a sidewalk on Collis Avenue. Yet the two houses immediately next to it do. So when the child opens his front door and goes out to go to school, walks on the sidewalk, and then runs into no sidewalk, this is something I would like you to address. I don't know how you're going to address it, whether you change some sort of code or checklist to make sure that when the opportunity presents itself to have a sidewalk, that we follow through on it. So I need your help on that. And the next issue I have is I'm a friend of Foots Pond, and I was looking at the school district property, and I looked at actually on the tax maps and saw that the school district property is partly woods. And this is where the school district dumps a lot of brush. And it makes it look like Foots Pond is a dumping ground, when it's really not Foots Pond property. So it's the school district is abusing its own property by making the rest of the, and we all know that Foots Pond is overgrown and badly kept, but the school district is not contributing to it. So I don't know if Mr. Pawar can work on that, or if our council person in the 4th Ward can work on that. So I would just like to say that. And then there was something fun on Instagram, and that is in our neighborhood are a family of foxes, 5 foxes, and someone posted yesterday under morristown.nj, all run together, a video of these 5 foxes frolicking around Miller Road and McCullough Avenue. So that's my fun part. Thank you.
Linda, what is your Instagram handle?
This is not my account. Someone sent this to me. I have no pictures on Instagram. I just use it to look at other people.
She's on Snapchat.
On Snapchat. Let's get with that one. Oh, sure. Good.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
So my name is Daniel Arias. I live at 71 Western Avenue, right here in Morristown. I've been living in this town for now 25 years, believe it or not. I know I don't look like it, but I'm 25. So I've grown up around skateboarding, around sports, action sports, And I'm not really sure like how to go about this or how the process starts to get a skate park built in Morristown. So that's why I'm here. I've never been to something like this, so I was kind of just trying to figure out, what steps I have to take to even get this process started or even get you guys thinking about the benefits that it would get for Morristown. So that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other members wishing to be heard at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing. Any council responses to public hearing comments?
I guess first, can the town liaison with the school board and send a letter and ask them not to dump on Foots Pond, or at least look into it?
Who's town liaison?
Can the,
You mean the school board member?
can the town, the town attorney? Well, that makes it easy, doesn't it? Or one of your associates or partners?
I'm sitting here as the town attorney for Town of Morristown, so I'm not discussing school business, but I did send an email already.
Great.
Because it was brought to my attention.
Okay, so you'll keep us informed and,
Yes.
yeah, the town will keep us informed?
Yes.
Okay. Regarding the sidewalk approval on Collis, so would a sidewalk extension normally get approved in conjunction with an application once it's before the planning board or the zoning board? Or is that something we can do afterward? Or can you at least look into the feasibility of extending that?
I can look into it. I would think it may be approved as part of the zoning board application, but it would be something I would have to confirm.
Can we perhaps amend the checklist that goes on when we do review development projects and add sidewalk, just to a review of the sidewalk
Councilwoman.
situation?
So the Complete Streets policy checklist includes for major site plan approvals. I assume if the current building is being demolished and a new building is being put in, that would constitute a major site plan approval. So there is that. So they do have to comply with the Complete Streets checklist, which would presumably require or encourage construction of a sidewalk in front of their property.
And that's in front of the planning board or the zoning board?
I don't know.
It's
been passed.
Zoning board.
But is it major site plan has been passed?
I don't know.
We'll get a copy and look at it. As far as safety, under construction, officials not going to have any unsafe during construction or after construction, any unsafe areas during construction. As far as what the approval is on the zoning board, I'll have the attorney look at it and confer with the business administrator.
Okay, so
Get
just.
an answer to Linda's question.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you. Thanks, Stefan.
To the gentleman who's interested in a skate park.
Oh, yeah.
I guess what I would do is, if I were you, I would identify a location where ideally a public park where you feel is appropriate for one, and then probably the best thing to start off with is to do a petition and see if the neighbors around there would support something like that.
The public hearing is closed. He's just giving you
So
your footwork.
once you do a petition, then come back and present the petition to the town, and then
And location.
and the location and go from there.
I have a question. What would be the average square footage for something like a skate park?
There are different skate park sizes. The one there's one in Madison. That is
There's one in Chatham.
Chatham. Sorry.
I guess we can research.
yeah.
Is that all from council members?
I think it could be as small as maybe 100 by 50, but I've seen some that are much
Pretty
larger.
big, yeah.
You might also reach out to other municipalities that have them in their town parks and see how they did it and how much it costs and what the funding opportunities are to get them in place and things like that, so.
Good idea.
Okay, moving on to report of mayor and town officials. I'll turn it over to Mayor Doherty.
Okay, I'll keep it brief. First, let me just thank everybody who's reached out over the last several days and seeing how my health is. I appreciate everybody from the council, administration, town employees, public. I'm not going to be here long. I'm cutting down on some hours for the next couple of weeks till I get approval to put more time in. I was asked one thing I could say that would be beneficial to the public on dealing with what happened to me Saturday. Listen to your body. Your body can tell you a lot on what's going on, and don't be afraid to react to it. We have a great hospital in our community, and utilize it. It's almost the same scenario as when people say they don't want to call 911 because they don't want to be a bother. It's the same concept. You see something, you call 911. If you think something's going on, just call 911, let them figure it out. If you think something's going on with your health, go see a professional instead of trying to figure out, and that's what I did, and it made all the difference. So again, thank you for all the kind words and the thoughts, prayers, and everything that went with that. I appreciate it very much. Ribbon cutting was held May 29th at Merzata Design on 4 Catano Avenue. On Friday, May 30th, we had Meet Me in Morristown, which was a huge success. Jen's in the back. I don't know, maybe they'll have to maybe change it from Thursday to Fridays. It was a really huge success. So thank you to the partnership, Jen Waring and Michael for making sure that the public was on board with the makeup date for that. That was a makeup from the rain, so it really worked out well. Saturday, June 1st, I want to thank the Environmental Commission and all the council that came out. Stefan Armington, who else? Sheba Foster, council president, for coming out and helping clean up our lakeside cleanup. It was another huge success. We got a lot of garbage out. Also talked to the police about keeping an eye on some of the areas along the back part of Patriots Path. Bless you, for some stuff that's going on there. So other than that, thank you for the volunteers for coming out and for Environmental Commission for setting it up. Also want to thank all the council and the administration, Jillian, and the Housing Authority and all the residents that came out to the Caldwell Park ribbon cutting and rehabilitation grant presentation to the Morristown Housing Authority. We were able to, bless you.
Thank you.
Wow. If they all start doing it, it's going to be funny. We were able to facilitate Councilwoman Hillary Davis's and the council support where she pushed on to get a $250,000 check to the housing. That's going to help them fix a lot of boilers and roofs and things like that. That's going to free up money for the residence center. Which is a great thing for the housing. We also, I want to commend Anthony. Is Anthony here?
No, he's sick.
No, the engineering department, DPW, the administration, the council for their support on what they've done to Caldwell Playground. The comments I heard Saturday were that they've never seen the park look so good in 50 years. They did an outstanding job in turning that to be a fabulous park, and we need to invest like that in all our parks, and we will, and even create a couple new ones. I know Bob's got one on his eye in the first one.
A couple new basketball courts.
A couple new basketball courts. So it really turned out well. It was a great day. Even our business administrator took the time to teach everybody how to line dance a little bit. Of course, it ended up causing me a little heart issue.
Blame it on the Cupid shuffle.
I got blamed on so
Really?
well. It didn't have anything to do with all those years I smoked and different things like that. But it was a great. Everybody did it. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great day. And it's not on my list yet to go with our Youth Their Future yet. But I just want to say that opening the park like that and getting it going and being utilized by the public was fabulous. I want to thank all those who participated in the June 4th election. Congratulations to the ones who made it through and who are now on the ballot for November. I want to thank our councilwoman for a hard-fought fight and all that she's been doing here and the many months left on this term that you will continue to be involved and make good things happen here for Morristown. But again, congratulations to those who were victorious in that primary election. On June 6th, Alexander Hamilton School hosted the 2019 Science, Technology, Arts, and Math Evening, STEAM. It was great. I go every year. It was a lot of fun. They've added now the technology and the arts and the math and all the different, it used to be just science, so it's really cool how everything works together. So my hat's off to the teachers and Alexander Hamilton. They have something going on over there. It is an amazing school, amazing teachers, and very well attended students, and the parents' interaction was great. I want to just take a minute and recognize Deloitte. For those who don't know who Deloitte is, the accounting firm, they had their Day of Impact, their 20th anniversary. They targeted Morristown as their Impact Day. Myself and the business administrator, Julian Barrick, spent the day with them at 3 sites, the Battered Women's Shelter, Good Grief, and the hospital. And to see their employees giving their time and their energy to really impact people and our community was heartwarming, to say the least. And to be asked to be part of that with the business administrator to see what kind of company and what kind of Fortune 50, what kind of corporation Deloitte does and what they bring to a community was outstanding. And we want to thank them for including us in their 20th anniversary Impact Day, which happens all over the nation, not just here, all over the nation. So we want to thank them and the managing partner, Paul Kruger, for inviting us and spending the day with us, letting us spend the day with them. Saturday, June 8th. Our Youth, Their Future. Take it away, Council President.
Our Youth, Their Future we celebrated our 10th anniversary. It's an event that we really, really enjoy putting on for the kids in the community. And as a special tribute, after losing my mom, I wanted to do something to keep her legacy going and honor her. So we did a tribute to her as we started a foundation under Our Youth, Their Future, my family, and the members of Our Youth, Their Future is called the Dorothy Dimples Holman Foundation, which is going to be used to help single parents within the community. So we were able to do a couple of nice things for her to honor her memory and try to keep her legacy going. And so we do it every year for the kids. We do a couple of community events a year, and it was really nice to see the great turnout. Again, Jillian, as Mayor was saying, led us in a line dance, and that, I don't know what it attributed to in terms of the mayor, but he line danced with us. Our public safety director was out there with us. It was really, really a good time, and I heard a lot of positive feedback, and everybody that attended said it was the best one yet. So thank you, guys. I told you on Saturday, DPW, engineering, everybody who had their hands in. I rolled down here on Friday. It was about 12. I didn't even know we had so many DPW trucks. It was so many workers down there trying to make sure that they had everything ready and set to go for our event. So that was really appreciated. Last year, we had the broken sidewalk. We still made it work, but to see the park kind of come together was really, really amazing. Nothing but positive feedback, so it was great. And thank you again always for you guys supporting all of the businesses that donate the food and all of our financial contributors that help make that event a great success for the kids in the community.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President. I also want to recognize the Juneteenth Freedom Walk from Historic Speedwell to the Green. Those who attended those events for Juneteenth, I'd like to recognize them. On Sunday, June 9th, I was not able to attend as I was hospitalized. Janet Broderick's final Mass at St. Peter's. She has been a very, I guess I could say, a very cool pastor, very active in the arts and growing her fellowship over there at St. Peter's, and she will be sorely missed. She's heading to Beverly Hills for probably maybe her last assignment, but what a way to look at maybe a 5-year plus move to Beverly Hills. She will really be missed here, and I know I got to speak to her about it, the process, when she made this decision. She's going to be missed. I was sorry I was not there for her last Mass. We were able to do a nice proclamation for her and declare a day in her name. I want to thank Mary. My wife actually stood in for me. She actually flew in on a red-eye Saturday night to be with me. And when she got to the hospital, I gave her the proclamation and sent her over to St. Pete's. I know Janet, Reverend Broderick really appreciated it, and she's going to be missed. She's been here as long as I've been mayor. She came about the same time, and she's done a lot for our community, and she's going to be missed. Saturday, June 15th, at 11 a.m., there's going to be a rabies clinic, Councilwoman Deeb. If you can get that out, that's Saturday, June 15th. We'll get it on our website, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., rabies clinic at Town Hall. On the 16th, at the Sunday, every Sunday through November 24th, 8:30 to 2 p.m. Does anybody guess what that is? Yes, Farmers Market, June 16th, every Sunday through November 24th, 8:30 to 2, Farmers Market. On Tuesday, June 18th, is that a council meeting? No. Okay. Cops and Rodders Car Show on the Green, because sometimes they have it coincide with. Okay, so that's a great event. It's a great event. Cops and Rodders, the Car Show on the Green, and it's Tuesday, the June 18th, so mark your calendars. We'll get all that stuff on the website. I also want to recognize Joe Curlow. Those who don't know who Joe Curlow is, Joe Curlow has been appointed the superintendent of the Department of Public Works. He is the new super, and he's doing an outstanding job, according to Jillian. So we have new leadership in the DPW, and we look forward to their continued hard work for our community and for our residents. And like I said before, I'm going to leave now. I said I would stay about an hour, and I talked for 20 minutes, so that's enough. I'm sure you don't want to hear any more from me. But on that behalf, like I said, on behalf of my family and myself, thank you for all the well wishes from all you and from the public. And I will see you Thursday night, and enjoy the rest of your council meeting. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Take it easy.
Feel better.
Yeah, get some
Watch
rest.
Netflix.
All right, are there any council liaison reports?
Parking Authority did meet on the 21st. They will be here at our next council meeting on June 25th to present the schematic, the plans for the new parking garage on Lot 10, which is the farmer's market lot. They've done a lot of good work on it, and I think it's going to be of interest to the council and to the public. Should be a very interesting presentation. One thing I never mentioned with reference to the Parking Authority, but I think I should mention it at least once. A lot of resolutions that they do at these meetings are with reference to maintenance of the public garages. And when you do look at our public garages and you go to other public garages, we've got great garages in town. They're very well maintained. They use the funds prudently to maintain these garages in very good condition, and they do a good job. But week after week, they're always doing a lot of resolutions just associated with maintenance of the garage, and they do a nice job.
In regard to the Morristown Partnership, I'll just reiterate a couple of things that the mayor already mentioned. This Saturday, June 16th, is the first weekend of the Farmers Market, and that continues all the way through the summer, every Sunday. And then, as he mentioned, the Meet Me in Morristown was rained out on May 30th, but they had the rain date the next day on the 31st, on the Friday, and it was a great success. And then tomorrow morning is the partnership meeting.
Thank you.
And tonight, the Morristown Environmental Commission met at 7:30, so it was the same time that we were meeting. So, but those meetings are open to the public, and usually they're the first Tuesday of every month, but this meeting, it was rescheduled because of the election. So So just stay tuned for that, and if you're interested, it's usually the first Tuesday of every month at 7:30.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 6 ordinances for introduction on the agenda tonight. Ordinance number O-21-2019, ordinance rescinding ordinance O-4-2013, and deleting a designated handicap parking space on Lake Road from Section 4-40.2 of the Code of the Town of Morristown.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-21-2019.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments from council members? Seeing none, call the question, please.
On the introduction of O-21-2019, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance O-21-2019 has been properly introduced by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 25th. Ordinance number O-22-2019, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Town of Morristown, Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 40.2, handicap parking on streets for private residences, to add a dedicated handicap parking space for a resident of 27A Hazel Street.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-22-2019.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments from council members? Seeing none, call the question, please.
On the introduction of ordinance 22-2019, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance O-22-2019 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 25th. Ordinance number O-23-2019, ordinance rescinding ordinance O-37-2016 and deleting a designated handicap parking space on Grant Street from Section 7-40.2, the Code of the Town of Morristown.
Make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-23-2019.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments from council members? Seeing none, call the question, please.
On the introduction of 23-2019, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance O-23-2019 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 25th. Ordinance number O-24-2019, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, for compensation for management/non-union positions in the Town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-24-2019.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Comments from council members?
Jillian, the source of the ranges, is that, is that the League of Municipalities? What's the sources of the ranges for the positions?
The ranges are set by local ordinance, so these are primarily based on last year's ordinance, and most of them are increased by 1.75%.
And are they benchmarked against other municipalities, any kind of standards?
I mean, some of them can be benchmarked, but honestly, salary ranges can range pretty significantly depending on the type of municipality, the size of the municipality. While a laborer is a laborer in some respects, there's a lot of these positions that could vary significantly from one municipality to another.
But your opinion is that they're fair and competitive?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Call the question, please.
On the introduction of 24-2019, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance O-24-2019 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 25th. Ordinance O-25-2019, ordinance appropriating $487,000 from the Sewer Capital Improvement Fund for various sewer improvements in and by the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, New Jersey.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-25-2019.
I'll second it.
Any comments or questions from council members?
On the introduction of 25-2019, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Ordinance O-25-2019 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing to be held on June 25th. Ordinance O-26-2019, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey for compensation for the elected mayor, town council members, and council president in the Town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-26-2019.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments from council members? Of course not.
Well, I just want to make a comment that this hasn't changed and hasn't had an increase, right,
The
since?
proposed ordinance is a 1.75 increase over last year.
Oh, it
Similar
is?
to the management non-union salary increase.
Really?
Yes.
We get a raise.
Oh, that's certainly pursuant to your vote.
We
Is
better
it-
even call a question.
Is this the first time that we've had an increase?
Wasn't there an increase
Last
last
year.
year?
Last year was?
Last year, there was a 1.75 increase.
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
On the introduction of O-26-2019, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Ordinance O-26-2019 has been properly introduced by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 25th. We have one ordinance for public hearing and adoption this evening, ordinance number O-20-2019, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 11, Parks and Recreation Areas.
I'll move it.
Second. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing for ordinance number O-20-2019. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing portion. Questions or comments from council? Nope. Call the question, please.
Okay, on the adoption of O-20-2019, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. We have 12 resolutions on the agenda this evening. Mr. Robert Williams is here to speak on behalf of Iron Bar Revolution. So Resolution R-79-2009 will be pulled for separate consideration and public hearing. Unless members of council would like to pull others, I would ask for a motion to move 77, 78, 80, and through 88-2019 in mass.
I'd like to pull 77.
And I'd like to pull 86.
Okay, I'll amend that. I would ask for a resolution, I'm sorry, a motion to adopt resolutions 78, 80 through 85, 87, and 88-2019.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
Could I amend the resolution? I'm sorry, because it didn't have a, I was looking at the older agenda.
Oh.
Could we pull 88 also?
As well?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
I
this,
didn't have the number on it.
okay, so this is a motion to approve.
People should know about these things.
No, it's not.
It is not 88.
I don't see an 80.
Isn't it the one for the 15,000 cooperative grant? I just had a question on it.
Yes, Resolution R-88-2019, resolution authorizing execution
It's
and
actually in the
submission.
new agenda that we had at our desk tonight, I think.
I have the new one.
I don't have it on here. Is that the Millennium?
My apologies.
It's the one that came with the email with the resolution.
The 2020
okay.
Cooperative Marketing Grant application and submission.
Okay, so this is
That's not the resolution, that's
R88.
the,
That is correct. My apologies.
Oh, there.
Okay,
So we're pulling 88.
so I'm looking for,
86?
you want 86 as well, Councilman?
Hold on. Yes.
Okay. So we have 78, 80 through 85, 87-2019 to be considered en masse.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
And I'll second it.
Okay, Councilman Armington,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Okay, Resolution R-77-2019, resolution authorizing renewal of plenary retail consumption license 1424-33-022-014, issued to DeHart Associates LLC, trading as Tajmu for the 2019-2020 year, subject to conditions.
I'll move it.
I'll sec-
Just question, so there's two establishments here. One is the regular Tajmu, and then there's the new one that's up it's being under construction. The resolution doesn't distinguish between the two, and it talks about conditions.
Because the conditions, based on the prior hearings and the way the conditions had always been done, the conditions were only with respect to the expansion area.
Right. So,
It says the following conditions on the 10 to Hart Street expansion area only.
okay, thank you.
Give me one moment, please. Okay, on the adoption of R-77-2019, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-86-2019, resolution requesting approval for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2019 budget pursuant to NJS 40A:4-27 NJ DOT Lafayette Grant. I have a motion to introduce.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Okay.
You know, you got two good grants here. You should actually.
again?
You got two very good grants here. You should let the public know what they're about.
Yes, there was
I think this is a great grant you got here.
Thank you. There was actually a press release that was done when we were awarded the grant maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago. This resolution simply inserts it into the budget, it's Chapter 159.
And the grant's for,
It's for the expansion of the sidewalk on Lafayette,
right, that's correct.
which is something that's been much needed.
Much needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, on the adoption of R-86-2019, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
And Council President Foster.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-88-2019, resolution authorizing execution and submission of a 2020 cooperative marketing grant.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Councilman?
Is the cooperative grant, does that mean there's other monies coming? Or is it the 15,000, what is the term cooperative mean in this instance?
Sure. So this grant actually comes from the State Tourism Board.
Okay,
And it's intended to support events that draw tourism from outside of New Jersey. And the cooperative marketing is it's the state providing support to events to expand their marketing efforts to increase tourism.
Got it.
So as you know, the Jazz Festival has been going on now. This is the 9th year. This grant would actually support marketing for the 10th year, which would be the 2020 event. So we're looking to make sure that it's even bigger and better in 2020. So this would support, the event that right now is 100% corporate funded.
great, thank you.
You're welcome.
On the adoption of R-
Jillian, I have a question. It's not totally related to this grant, but how is the Morristown Jazz and Blues Festival accounted for? Is that a separate, 501c3 nonprofit, or is it a separate corporation, or?
No, it's all privately funded, and it is done through the Morristown Partnership.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Excuse me. On the adoption of R-88-2019, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Motion carries. Excuse me. Resolution R-79-2019, resolution authorizing renewal of plenary retail consumption license 1424-33-029-016, issued to the Iron Bar LLC, trading as the Iron Bar and Revolution for 2019-2020, subject to conditions.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, we'll open up a public hearing.
Good evening, everyone. Robert C. Williams, appearing on behalf of the Iron Bar LLC, which trades as the Iron Bar and Revolution. Once again, I'm appearing before you. Once again, I'm appearing before you to ask you to reconsider the special conditions that are proposed with the resolution this year. The conditions basically impose the same conditions that were imposed September 11th of 2014, which limits the sale of alcohol after 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 11:30 on Friday and Saturday nights at the Revolution section of the Iron Bar's license. I'm also going to ask you to delete Section 2 regarding the trash and recyclables, since the Morris County Health Department has decided that that is not acceptable and will not allow us to do it. We have to store our trash outside, and we've been doing that since 2017. But the main focus of my arguments tonight deal with what I consider to be an unreasonable and improper special condition. Now, we talked about this in 2014. We went over the statute NJSA 33:1-32, which allows you as a governing body to impose special conditions. However, the special conditions have to be necessary and proper to effectuate the rules and regulations of the Division of Alcoholic Beverage Control, and most importantly, those conditions must be approved by the director of the ABC. Not once since 2014 have you even applied to the director for his approval. However, you imposed the conditions. You imposed them on September 11, 2014. You imposed them at the renewal 2015-16, 16-17, 17-18, and 18-19. Each time you did that, my client appealed to the director of the ABC. Each and every time he stayed the condition. The condition has never been effective on the Revolution section of the premises. We have operated since opening with full operational hours. It's ridiculous that I have to come back here tonight and go over the same argument. The conditions have never been in effect. However, we did have an opportunity upon the appeal to get a trial, a hearing before the Office of Administrative Law. Those hearings were held April 11th and April 12th of 2017. A decision was rendered, which we spoke about last year, by Judge Scolo on February 23rd, 2017. The judge ruled that the limitation of the hours that you imposed, those limitations were unreasonable and inappropriate. He also stated that the imposition of the condition strongly suggests that the limitations on the hours should be considered discriminatory. That decision is what is known as an initial decision, went up to the director of the ABC. On June 18th, 2018, the acting director of the ABC accepted the findings of the trial court and Judge Scolo. He stated that the exceptions that your town filed accepting certain things in Judge Scolo's findings were, quote, without merit. The director concluded that the condition to close this establishment early was unreasonable and arbitrary. The director said, I am especially persuaded with the following. One, there were no municipal agency reports, such as police or fire department, that presented evidence of general public welfare issues or specific issues as to the Iron Bar's operation. In fact, the chief of police testified that he did not know a reason for imposing the conditions. The fire chief testified there were no fire code violations. There were no violations against the Iron Bar. The municipal clerk testified that there were no other licensed premises in the entire town of Morristown that had restraints such as that were imposed on the Revolution section. He found it very important that both the town and the Iron Bar agreed that since they operated or opened in 2012, there has never been a violation of any municipal or state ABC law on these premises, nor municipal ordinance. He also found it very interesting that the president of the town council, Mr. Armington, when asked why the 11 and 11:30 were imposed upon the Iron Bar, he stated he didn't know. When I appeared before you on June 12, 2018, I challenged each of you that were here that night to give me reasons why you continue to put these conditions on this man's or this licensee's license. I challenged you to do this. Nobody did it. No one. On June 12, 2018, stepped to the plate and said, here's the reason we're going to do this again. Here's the reason we've done it since 2014. You simply remain silent. I'm going to challenge you tonight to step from behind that wall of silence and tell everyone here tonight, tell the licensee, tell everybody in the town of Morristown why you're doing this to the Revolution section of Iron Bar. The facts remain the same. Not one municipal agency, not your police department, your fire department, your health department, your zoning department, your recreation department, not one of them has suggested that this condition is appropriate. Not one civic group has come out and requested that these conditions continue. No one in the entire town operates with similar conditions. When I appeared in 2014, there was a general concern, we don't want more people drinking in this town. The Iron Bar said, fine. We'll keep our existing occupancy of 1,043. That's all we did on that night, or that's all you did, was approve a larger establishment. The same amount of people could just now enjoy the Iron Bar section and the new section. We didn't bring one more person to that location to drink. And that's what you said. You were concerned about the number of licensees in town and the amount of people on South Street. Even though you had approved the office for their expansion with no conditions. They had a larger occupancy, but no conditions. But very surprisingly, on November 20th, 2018, this governing board, sitting as an ABC board, approved a person-to-person, place-to-place transfer of a liquor license to 56 South Street to J.K. Morristown LLC. No restrictions whatsoever. All new drinkers coming to town. No limitations on their license. I think you did the right thing. There was no reason to put a special condition on their license. There's no reason to put a special condition on the Iron Bar's license. But for some reason, reasons that you refuse to disclose, you continue to do it. You have an obligation to be fair. I'm asking you tonight to embrace that opportunity and be fair. And the only way you can be fair is if you meet your statutory requirement and tell us why you're doing this. Give us facts that require this licensee to close when they've never had an ABC violation. I'm asking you to let my client continue to operate normal operation hours as they have, and to continue to do so without having any violations. You've never limited the hours on any licensee in this town that said they wouldn't bring any more people. I've handled other applications. Other applicants have agreed to certain restrictions, although they're not operating yet, but they're bringing more people to the community. And they agreed, we'll take an earlier closing hour. However, no one, under the facts that you're presented with here, has ever had to close early. Why are you continuing to do this to the Iron Bar and Revolution? Once again, I come before you and ask you to step out from behind that wall of silence, and each of you tell us why this is necessary and proper. Who wants to go first? Who's going to be the first person to tell the public and tell my client why these conditions have to be imposed? And if you can't tell us, you can't vote in favor of them. Because all you're doing is forcing my client to spend money and the people you represent to spend money. Lawyers aren't cheap. You have a number of lawyers. Mr. Kavanaugh has lawyers. Why should we have to do this? Let him stay open, and if he violates any rule or regulation, charge him. But I really think, and I want everybody to listen carefully, it is unfair that you won't tell us why you're doing this. The reason is you don't know. There's something behind this. There's something more to this. Because you won't tell us, there has to be something more. What could that be? Do you have a personal vendetta, any of you, against Mr. Kavanaugh or his employees or the establishment? I don't have the answer. And I'm hoping tonight you'll tell us the reasons why you're in favor of these special conditions. Thank you.
Is that all you have for us this evening?
Excuse me?
Is that all you have for the public hearing?
That's my argument, yes.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing and ask any council members if they have any comments for the applicant. Any questions?
I have a question. So, given that this is current litigation or not, or that I know that, how are we permitted to speak about this? How are we permitted to not speak about this, given the current status of the litigation? I mean,
so what is being litigated are prior resolutions that this council has passed with conditions. This is a new resolution, new renewal, and with the same conditions. Those conditions have been stayed. I'm sure if the council does impose those conditions, Mr. Williams will go to the director tomorrow and obtain a stay, and that will continue until the litigation is resolved, which is currently before the courts. I can't have a discussion about the litigation in public session.
so are we permitted to speak about our history? I mean, or is that considered commenting on a current process that could impact the litigation? Because I can tell you that, I was here during that time, and there were hundreds of residents here that were expressing a lot of concern about the expansion. And at the time, we didn't have public safety statistics, we didn't have crime statistics, we didn't really have a very good documented public safety program the way we have now. They were different times. However, the expansion, it was an expansion, so there was concern about crime and public safety, and I think it was warranted, because at that time there were, the council chambers was packed, the hearing was out the door. So, I mean, what are our options right now?
Well, you can certainly talk about why you feel the conditions are, or the conditions are warranted or not warranted. You can certainly lay out your reasoning if you choose to do so.
So right now, we're voting on that these conditions are the same as they were for the past 5 years.
Right, so what you're voting on is renewing their license with the same conditions that were imposed a few years ago.
Okay. With no violations or anything. Do we have that fact
I can-
certified? Can our public safety director talk to us about that? I mean, it's clear that their attorney is saying these things, that there's not one municipal agency that says these conditions, not one fire code violations and what have you. Do we have that? Can we have those facts certified by our municipal officials?
What Mr. Williams is referring to is a legal proceeding that took place. So he is talking about the testimony that took place at that time. I can sit here today and tell you that there have been no ABC violations against the iron bar.
So does that mean fire code in violations?
That, I don't have that information.
Okay. Mr. Williams used the term discriminatory, and that really concerns me from a business standpoint. So as our town attorney, what can you advise us in terms of our risks if we don't pass this? Because it's strong language that, concerns me as someone who promotes the business community for the town as well as the welfare of the residents.
May I suggest that if the council wants to discuss pending litigation, threats of litigation, that we go into closed session? If that's what council wants to do. I can't answer that question in public session.
I would make a motion to go to closed.
I want to be heard on this because we're getting off into an area that's not really part of the hearing this evening. The term discriminatory was not used by me. That was used by a judge in his initial decision.
Well, it's.
I didn't mean that. I just meant that you said that in your testimony.
All right, is the council
I will second the motion, please.
to go into closed session?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, so then we need to take a vote. You can't speak from the public. The public hearing is closed. So there will be no more public discussion on this particular application.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for executive session. Be it resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris and the State of New Jersey as follows. The governing body shall meet in executive session from which the public shall be excluded to discuss matters as permitted pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12, subsection 7, pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiations. Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Okay. If the public would please leave the
Public's excuse, please.